Go on with it, go on with it. Blessings all for my life, man. My thank God for the journey, the earnings, and just for the plus. Gratitude is a must. See blessings fall by my right hand.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're here for the first time. It's your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz, and welcome back to my commentary channel where I speak about movie, TV, and soon-to-come books, everything that I like, dislike, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything all throughout and in between those frames of media. Okay, so this one is going to be about the spirits when it comes to Avatar, The Last Airbender. I wanted to speak about this because, I said I was going to speak about piece by piece and then give y'all that overall review that I did the first time I saw it, but these are more like, slightly what I think. Disclaimer, it's just my opinions. You can disagree if you want to. It is what it is. I knew this was going to be controversial. If I liked everything, it would have been controversial for those who didn't like it. And if I disliked everything, then it would have been controversial for those who thought it was the best thing they've ever seen or separated from the show enough to think that it's awesome by itself. But me, I'm in the middle, veering to a certain side, but in the middle. That's why I can say good things and bad things. Okay. So I guess we can just focus on Spirited Away. I'm not going to get too deep into the episodes, but just speaking about the spirituality of Avatar and everything that is normally involved with the spirituality of Avatar, I think, it's a tough thing that people don't necessarily understand. So I wanted to discuss it really quickly. Going away from Spirited Away for 5 seconds, I didn't like that they even added in the secret tunnel. Number one, that's a season 2 thing, so there was no reason to bring it here and then destroy it. Number 2, the way Sokka acted in that thing, you know what, I'm just gonna bring it up in my Katara and Sokka episode. But just to say that was a semi-spiritual moment in the show that they didn't even need to bring in here because it's season 2. Why'd you even bring it in here? I don't see the point. But anyways, Spirited Away. Yue as the foxy knowledge seeker. Okay, yeah, we got it. We got the reference, or not necessarily sure why she was there in that way. I feel like if you wanted to have her there, what you could have done, right, was make her a fish or something. You know what I mean? Something to kind of make it so that when Sokka realizes that he's seen her before, then he instantly connects it to where the fish are. Sort of like a layman's way of showing his intelligence to the viewers. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think that would have been a good way of doing it. I don't know why you guys didn't think of doing it that way, but whatever. Moving away from her because she's not that important in this moment. So I didn't appreciate it, but here's what I did appreciate. I appreciated how frightening Cole looked and sounded, but I don't understand why we removed the element of Master of Faces. I mean, high key, the way that Aang was acting this entire movie, I feel like this is definitely an Aang that we could believe could have beat the original show's Cole, in terms of like show no emotion at all. Like, come on, this Aang barely had any fun the entire time. He was so downcast and hard on himself and down. I could have definitely seen him, you know, clocking Ko. You know what I mean? So I'm a little confused as to why we had Ko here, but decided to have him not be himself. Instead, he's like, you know what's crazy? They copied somebody, and I can't remember who it is. Obviously, there's a bit of the Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I mean? So there's that, but there's another horror movie that they obviously copied that I don't remember right now. Why did you do that? Why? What was the point of that? You know what I mean? Why remove his powers and add that in? And I guess some of you are going to say they had to crunch in 1,000 storylines into an 8-episode thing. So unless I wanted them to just remove Cole, they had to add it in somehow. Fine. One good thing I'll say is that he was still scary, but his powers weren't scary. His design was scary. The idea of him having people in sacks was scary. But the idea of him infiltrating people's deepest, darkest wasn't really that scary to me. You know what I mean? I just feel like, personally, they needed more episodes. I'm just gonna say that. The way that they smushed in all the spirits together is a classic example of why they needed more episodes. There are comments under my Avatar live action thoughts before the show came out. You can see I went back and forth with somebody for 5 seconds about how I did not like the fact that there were rumors that they're not going to have a lot of episodes for the first season, because I just didn't understand why they were doing that. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I remember when I watched the original trailer, I was so psyched. Like, one of the things that made me more positive about the show was seeing Heibai in live action. I was like, oh my god, Heibai, he looks great. I'm excited. I want to watch, you know? But we only saw him for like 2 seconds. He was like, hey, bye. You know, so it just wasn't as cool because he was just there for a short amount of time. And I'm not going to blame them for that particularly. CGI, it's whatever. But I just feel like the way that they smushed some stuff together definitely made people a little uncomfortable. There are some people who didn't really like the Omashu episodes because of how they smushed so many storylines together. I kind of agree with that, but there are certain scenes of it that I understand why they did that. Just to finish up the Spirited Away, I don't know why they have the owl in the spirit world. What does that mean? Does that mean that there's not going to be any library? Where did Zhao get the book from? You know, the scroll to figure out the moon spirit stuff. How did he get that? If he didn't go to the owl, does that mean that Azula gave it to him? That's a cop-out. Because where did Azula get it from? Where'd she get it from? Why are you guys... Because here's the thing, right? I can be a nitpicker when it comes to this show because I've watched the original show back to front. So even in the first episode, when I saw that Aang already had the whistle for Appa, I was already on high alert. From that moment on, I was on high alert. I was like, why does he have the whistle already? He got the whistle in season... What season? Season 2. He either got it later on in season 1 and it became useful. No, he had it in season 1. He did get it in season 1, but definitely wasn't the first episode. He got it in the Pirates episode. Right, the episode that they skipped out and then just briefly mentioned. So they briefly mentioned the pirates and they briefly mentioned the prisoners on the ship, and then they briefly mentioned the Great Divide in the Bounty Hunter episode. Why? What was the use of them giving them so much money and then saying they wanted to be like Game of Thrones if they're not gonna go all the way with it? If I decided to go and do some research on Game of Thrones right now, are you telling me that Game of Thrones had 10 episodes per season? I don't remember that. I watched Game of Thrones later, which means I binged it. And Game of Thrones episodes were like an hour and a half. So even though I was binging it, I still felt like I was watching it with the same age on my back as everybody else. You know what I mean? So let's just talk about Game of Thrones season 1, the logistics. Okay? So Game of Thrones season 1 has about 10 episodes. So did One Piece. Looks like each season of Game of Thrones had around 10 episodes. Why couldn't Avatar get at least 10? And you know what? I'm not even going to say that, because I'm not going to sit here and act like, well, if we at least got 10 episodes, then it would have been better. No. In my personal opinion, you needed about 15. 13 at least, with the 1 hour time slot that you already sequestered each episode for to give me the story I want. In the last episode that I spoke about this series, I told you what I liked. I want to see more of that. And if you got more than 10 episodes, or at least 16, I would get more of that. This is not what I want. I don't need the owl to be in the spirit world. I don't need the threat, because we're not sure. I'm not sure. But the owl being here threatens that some very key storylines that are very important to the show are not going to be there. That's what that means to me. Now, of course, you could say, oh, you don't know that. Of course I don't know that. But how come even the people who enjoyed it are warning? Like, we all know the people on YouTube who are known for Avatar and they have thousands of viewers and subscribers. Even those people who enjoyed it to a certain extent, and I haven't watched them, but I just know that they're going to be more biased to enjoy it. Even those people who enjoyed it to a certain extent, I'm not going to say they thought it was the best thing ever. They enjoyed it to a certain extent. Even those people, I have seen thumbnails of them warning Netflix about what to do in season 2, and it's not like what I would like for season 2. No, it's almost like they're saying, guys, this season was kind of iffy. You divided the fan base. Here's what you should do to probably fix that the next season. Those are the type of thumbnails and titles that I am seeing. Why am I seeing that? No, I'm asking a real question. Why am I seeing that? I'm seeing that because no matter how much you think you liked it, there were so many issues with it that people have to, if they dislike it, they have to go on their tippy toes, right? So instead of saying that you disliked it, you have to go on your tippy toes and be like, well, yeah, it was fun, but next season you should probably, do some more character development on, people who aren't Zuko. And then, maybe I'm sorry. Is that not what some of these reviews be looking like and sounding like? I'm asking for a friend. Now, just to cap this off really quickly, I don't necessarily like what they do with the spirit world. Spirit meaning even the Avatar state. I don't like it. I think Kyoshi was played perfectly because that's how Kyoshi acts. And in my personal opinion, it shows why Kyoshi is not the person who needs to talk to Aang. She's not. I don't really appreciate how they characterized Roku and how they minimized him. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. All right. Hopefully they do better in season 2 as it comes to those aspects of the story, because those aspects are very, very vital and important to this story, in my opinion. Because who knows? Who knows what'll go on, what will happen. But in all honesty, they need to do something better in season 2. Because I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, because now I've seen proof of it, and I'm very proud of myself for guessing correctly. If they mess up Toph, they ride at dawn, like in front of the Netflix studios with pitchforks and flamethrowers. Mazel tov. So I'm going to need them to think before they do the next season, in my personal opinion. I know this was talking about the spirits who was more ranting, but there really isn't anything to say. They go into the spirit world, you meet Yue, you see Ko, he's done differently, and then you get a reference to his mother, which saying that Ko is like he just wants family, like Do you know how many people don't even know that was his mother? Like, how many people were confused by that giant Easter egg that you decided to leave? Who asked you to bring the mother of faces into this? I was like, is that the mother of faces? Like, there are only 100 people in the fandom who even know who that is. I'm one of them, obviously. But I'm like, this was obviously an Easter egg. You have to pick your Easter eggs very succinctly. You can't just, excuse me. When I saw her, I was like, okay. Does that mean that they're going to explain what happened to a certain person's mom in this show? Are we going to get that level of spoilers? Because that would be very weird in my personal opinion. Very, very weird. Very strange. Anyways, tell me what you guys think down below. I'll be going on to the next video. And goodbye, my sires. Sue.